13 months for me. I'm pretty lucky. And Bob is included in my favorite people in the world.
Thank you, Joe.
Really, guys, I mean, family and friends, what is more important than that?
Hoorah!
And we'll turn it over to Bob with his insanely dangerous but completely entertaining
Thank you.
demonstration of saber skill.
Thank you. Thank you. So, first of all, just, why it's so important here this evening and why we would do something that involves a sword, Napoleonic saber, and a bottle of Moët Chandon champagne. And that is that there are no birthdays that are more important in our lives than our 0 birthdays. And the reason that our 0 birthdays are so significant is because at 59 or 49 or 39, we don't look back and go, oh, what was I doing when I was 28 or 29? But when we hit our zeros, we all inevitably look 10 years back and 10 years forward. And we take account of what we've done in the last decade, and we think about what we hope to do in the coming decade. And it's a 20-year span of our lives that get taken in on our 0 birthdays. So it's very important that dinners like this happen, because it's these milestones in our lives that really are the ones that we will remember, that are the ones that make the difference, the ones that are the center point of that 20-year period. So that's happening tonight, and you are all part of it. And it means something very special that the people at this table are here, because as you can see, it's a small, exclusive, special group. And it's important that you be ready to celebrate this, the midpoint of that 20 years, but also the beginning of the 8th decade. And this is something that's really significant, okay? So we're gonna celebrate it tonight. We're gonna kick it off. We're gonna have some great food. You're gonna start with a nice summer salad, and then you all know the entrees that you picked. We got a special trio dessert, a triple threat dessert for the finish. And to get it all started, I was inducted in 1990 into the Moët Chandon Club des Sabreurs. And the club was formed when Jean-Remy Moet, the founder of Moët Chandon, he did not discover champagne. He didn't invent champagne. That was a blind monk who lived near him in the region of Champagne, near the little town of Epernay. And to support his monastery, they noticed that there was a little bit of a spritz in the new wine when they would make it. Well, we know today, they didn't know back then, that that was carbon dioxide. They had no idea. They just knew that it was a little spritz and it was really delightful, but it went away. Well, he thought, what if I could trap it in the bottle? And then open the bottle, and all of you who remember your high school science, Charles Boyle, Boyle's law, is how much of that carbon dioxide you could dissolve into a liquid if you closed the vessel and kept it closed. So he's the one who figured out how to get a cork in there and keep it closed so that when you opened it, as Marie Antoinette called it, the mousse would come out. And she had glasses that had no feet on them because she insisted you drink it down immediately and not let it sit and let the bubbles go away. And Moet wanted, of course, to make his product successful, so he did what so many brands do today. They look for a celebrity. Well, the biggest celebrity endorsement in that time was Napoleon and Josephine. There were no bigger celebrities in the world. So he invited Napoleon and Josephine to come out to Epernay to try his champagnes. Well, naturally, you can't say to little Jacques and Philippe, could you go sleep at your friend's house tonight? You know, the emperor needs your bed, okay? You had to build a palace. So they built a palace called Trianon that it's still in use by Moet to this day, looks like a Newport mansion, and the court came, they fell in love with it, they took it back to Paris, it became all the rage, and Moet became very successful, which is what he wanted, because he wanted to know that hundreds of years later, we would be here celebrating John's birthday with Moët Chandon champagne. So his wish is coming true. So Napoleon, as many of you know, is a very controversial figure, and there were a lot of people who wanted to perform the dreaded, as we call it, coup d'etat on Napoleon and cut the little man's head off and make him even shorter by about a foot or a head. And to prevent that from happening, he had an elite, like a secret service, his elite corps of swordsmen called the Hussars. And the Hussars were charged with making sure no one attacked Napoleon and assassinated him. Very nerve-wracking job. Talk about stressful. So at the end of the day, it was the tradition that every soldier or sailor would get their daily ration of grog, and in Champagne, that meant you were getting bottles of champagne. And those soldiers did not want to fiddle around with the corks and the wire, and out came the sabers, and zack, off went the top of the bottle. So this is not a trick with the cork. I'm going to attempt to slice the neck of the bottle, cut the glass in honor of John tonight. And this is where I start to get nervous, because this is under 100 pounds of pressure, which means I'm under a lot of pressure, because this is like hitting this thing, you know, hitting a baseball bat to a bomb. It can blow up. It can be disastrous if it doesn't go right. And of course, I'm right there up close and personal with it if it goes wrong. So I wish the story was much longer.
How many have you done?
I don't count.
Many.
I don't count, but I've never done 2 for one person, and this is your second. You're the first person for whom since 1990, for whom I have ever savored a second bottle of champagne.
Evelyn.
So I put my life at risk for you twice, John. So I'm now going to ask you all to get up from the table and come over here with me. I'm going to, John's going to hold the bottle.
No. I fell for that trick last time. I'm not falling for it this time.
Okay. I'm actually going to be all alone behind the glass, and the rest of you can be up close to the glass because you'll all be protected. And we're going to try to do this in honor of his birthday and make it a great celebration and toast. And yes, sir.
There is no try.
Oh.
There is only do.
Yeah, okay. But I do need to hear words in French. Should they be the last words that I hear? The sabreur must hear his last words in French. So,
Courage!
come on over here with me. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to say, and then we're going to cut the top of the bottle. John, we're going to invert your hat just in case a little champagne comes this way. So, I will ask you all, you can come right up, because I'm going to be right here behind the glass, and you'll be safe on this side of it. So, I want you to all say, in French, en français, bon, chance, Robert! You've all just said good luck, Bob. So, here we go. In honor of you, John. You're gonna live another 70 years, brother. Clean cut. As you can see, the cork's still in the neck of the bottle.
Wow.
So let's all say, and now I can tell you that it never tastes as good as it does from a sabered bottle. And you are about to become